What's going on, everybody? Back with another YouTube video on my Road to Recovery series. As you can already tell, it's a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be discussing the elephant in the room, which is my pec tear. It's very obvious. It's the first thing you look at when you see me now. And I'm going to be answering some questions that I've been asked. I've got a list of questions here on my computer right here, and it's just going to help me give you guys some context in terms of what's going on. But first, before I get into the questions, what I'm going to be talking about is how it all started, the procedure they took to fix it, how long it's going to be until I'm back into the gym, and just the plans for the future. So quickly, I tore my pec on the 1st of June doing an incline, a Smith machine incline bench, put on a new weight which was 3.5 PPS, which is 320 plates and 110 per side, that's kilos. And I benched it, I got the rep, I benched it very easily. It wasn't a case of me ego lifting. That's what a lot of people might be thinking. I wasn't ego lifting at all. I knew I could press that weight, and I did. But because I was in a rebound phase after my prep, after my competition, I was very sensitive to the stimulus of gaining weight, the stimulus of weight training, the stimulus of eating food. So my muscle got strong very quick, and the tendon itself wasn't able to keep up. So what happened was, when the pec contracted to bench this weight, the muscle contracted, the muscle pulled on the tendon didn't like it at all, and it got pulled off the bone, which is very unfortunate because I warmed up enough, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just a freak situation, which I hope never ever happens to anybody, never happens to me again. Just gotta make sure you guys are on top of it and thinking about all of the limiting factors, like inside and outside the gym. Like, I should have been aware. I'm on a rebound phase. I'm very like I can't think of the word again, sensitive to injury, and I should have kept that in mind. But you know, it's all a learning curve. But technically I didn't really do anything to deserve this. But anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic. So yeah, waited 4.5 weeks to get my surgery. Got to the hospital, they gave me my gown, they gave me everything I needed to go in. I went into hospital at 5 p.m, got into theatre at 6:30 p.m, and yeah, they gave me anesthetic through cannula in my left hand. They gave me a nerve blocker. Basically what that does is, it's in the name, it blocks the nerves, it stops them being sensitive. So they put like a 6-inch long needle in my neck here. They kept it in there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and they were just slowly blocking all the nerves in this part of my body, so I wasn't able to feel anything. I actually know some people don't get a nerve blocker when they get the procedure done. They just get a painkiller, which is interesting, because I can imagine you're in a lot of pain afterwards. So the procedure took an hour and a half. It felt like 2 minutes for me. I woke up post-op in the room outside the theatre and was talking to everyone. I can't really remember what I said. I just asked them if it went well, and then I fell back asleep, and I woke up in my room at the hospital. And then from then I was just staying still, being very gentle with everything, and I was kind of out of it because there was a lot of drugs in my system. But yeah, so basically what they did to fix it, this is quite a what's the word, squeamish. So if you get like that, you might want to skip the next minute, just because I'm going to be explaining how they actually fixed my pec. When it comes to this stuff, I don't really get anxious at all. Like hospitals, cutting people open, surgeries, it doesn't really faze me, so I wasn't anxious or scared going into it. So I actually watched a couple videos beforehand, seeing how people fix it, and exactly what they did on me was, obviously they cut me open here, they found where the muscle had been torn off. They put like wiry stitches in the muscle to pull it back over, and then you're probably wondering, where the hell did they reattach it? Now this is the cool part. What they did was they drilled 3 holes in my humerus bone. Now your humerus is the bone in your upper arm, and they put the muscle through those holes, and then they kept them in there using a button kind of system. So when you do a petit shirt, like for work or for school or for something like that, you put the button through the hole, and then it won't come back out. It won't come back out unless you force it. That's exactly what they've done in my bone with the tendon. They've attached the tendon to the stitches. They've put the stitches on a button, and then they've buttoned it through my bone so it can't come back out. So that essentially holds them back into place while the tendons attach and heal where they should be. So it's quite interesting. Apparently that's quite a new way of fixing a pec tear, which is quite interesting, but that should be good. I feel pretty good. I'm in a bit of pain. I'm in pain now, actually. It's the 4th day on. My pain is nowhere near as bad as it was on the day. Obviously it was bearable, and I've got pain relief and stuff like that. They gave me codeine and morphine, but I'm not really touching the morphine just because that is a very, very strong painkiller, and I'm not using it unless I desperately have to. I just don't see the point, so I'm sticking with paracetamol and a bit of codeine, and it seems to be working fine for me. So yeah, anyway, that's like a little backstory or recap on how everything's going. On the 21st, I've got a meeting with my surgeon in person, and we're going to go over things. He's going to give me more info. He's going to take this off, and we're just going to see how it's going. And obviously I'll give you guys another in-depth recap on how everything's going after that. But so let's get into the questions. The one question I keep getting a lot is, when are you going to get back into training? And that is like, that's a very vague thing, because there's a few stages when it comes back to training after this. So obviously there's getting out the sling. That's going to take 4 to 5 weeks. Then I've got my rehab. I don't know how long that could take. All I know is that I'm not going to be my normal self for about 6 to 7 months. I'm going to be very, very anxious when it comes to pressing weight again. I'm definitely not using a barbell or a Smith machine to train chest again. I don't think it works for my body, like physiologically, I don't think it works for me. And 2, I'm going to be very anxious when it comes to that. So it's going to be dumbbells and machines for pressing, and obviously flying movements. But I don't think I'm going to be fully back into it for about 6 months. And another question was, how did they fix your pec? Obviously I just explained it. They cut me open, they pulled the muscle back over, they drilled 3 holes in my bone, they put the muscle that's attached to the stitches through there using a button, and then it just stayed in there like it would. Any sort of button system would just stay once you've put it in place, won't it? And I do have to be very, very careful, because at the moment my tendon is only as strong as those stitches are. So I have to wait. Obviously once I'm out the sling, that should be a sign of I'm getting my strength back in terms of my pec, but then from there it will be a case of strengthening, getting range of motion back, and just slowly easing my way back into everything. Now a third question that I keep getting asked is this going to affect you in the future? In the short term, yes, clearly, because it's still affecting me now. It's going to affect me tomorrow. It's going to affect me in a month's time. But in a year down the line, I should be relatively back to normal. I'm praying to God that it doesn't actually look any different to how it used to, because I know that Ryan Crowley's does look a bit different, but I've got a feeling that over time his is going to get a lot better and look relatively normal once he's strengthened it back up and built the muscle up, and obviously built the tendons back to where they used to be. But I did a check-in about 2 weeks prior to surgery, and if you didn't know I torn my pec, you wouldn't even notice it. So now it's actually been reattached. I'm hoping it should look relatively the same again, which will be nice, which gives me a lot of hope. But at the same time, I've just got to not get my hopes up, because there could be something I don't know about yet. But anyway, 4th question, how is this going to impact your bodybuilding? Obviously this is quite similar to the last question, but anyway, it's going to impact me because I'm going to be anxious when it comes to pressing weight. And not only is it going to be like me being anxious when it comes to training chest, I'm also going to be anxious when it's training any muscle now, just because this came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't do anything wrong to have this injury. Like, I didn't injure myself. It wasn't my doing, if you know what I mean. Because I warmed up, I did everything I should do. So when it comes to pressing weight, I'm definitely going to be very, very careful now. The scary part is it didn't happen on the way down. It happened when I pressed. So it was completely fine on the way down, completely fine. And as soon as I pressed the weight, that's when things got bad. So I didn't feel any pulling, any stretching or anything like that. I didn't feel any like tension. it was when I pressed, it came out of nowhere. So it's quite a frightening thing that it just came out. Like there's no way to sense that's going to happen. It just came out of nowhere. Another question I have is, people have been asking, what is this going to change in the future about you? And the first thing I think of is mindset. Like I said before, I think this is definitely going to change my mindset towards bodybuilding for life in a very good way. I'm going to feel motivated more than ever. I'm going to be the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like having to be able to train freely like that. That is something that a lot of people take for granted, because if you've got it, you've got it. You don't think about it. But now when it's taken away from you, like it's taken away from me, you don't realize the blessing that you have to be able to train without an injury. That is really, really good. I'm definitely going to be on a high for a good few months training while I get back to where I am. It's going to be the best feeling ever. I'm going to appreciate everything more than I ever have, and I just can't wait. But the thing is, I can't rush the process to healing. I have to take my time, because there's no way I'm hurting myself again. That's just not going to happen. It's not worth it. And in the long term, this recovery time isn't long at all. Like, I've just turned 20. Like, this isn't going to be bad, and I'm not out of juniors till I'm 23. I'm not 24 even for some people. Like, I've got ages in juniors, and that's not even men's, so I've got so much time. Like, I could have torn this at such a worse time in my life. Like, let's say I'm at the peak of my career, I'm pushing for a pro card or something like that, and then, you know, I tear my pec. That would be 10 times worse, because that would really set me back, because I'm older, and obviously my recovery might not be as good, but now seems I'm still young, I should recover relatively fast. I've got time, I'm still in juniors, I'm not even in men's classes yet. By the time I'm fully recovered and back to where I was and exceeding where I was, I should be still in juniors and have lots and lots of time. So everything is going well, everything's going smoothly. I'm very happy. Obviously I prefer this to not happen at all, but it's one of those things life has thrown at me, and I'm going to show people that I'm not messing around, and bodybuilding is my passion, and I am willing to do anything to do it. Like, nothing can hold me back, and I'm definitely going to show a lot of people what that means. Now, the last question that I get asked quite a lot is, how am I doing? And it sounds so simple. But it's quite a big question, because I can expand on it a lot. So when I first tore it, I was very, very upset. Like, I'm going to be real with you here, because I know there's a lot of people on social media that will make it sound okay when really they've been upset behind the scenes. I'm going to give you the brutal truth. I was very, very down. I still get down now, but I'm in a much better position now, because I know I'm actually healing now. Whereas in those 4.5 weeks waiting for surgery, I was healing, but I wasn't healing the actual injury. I was just healing in preparation to live my life with a torn pec. My body didn't know it's going to get surgery, so in my head I wasn't getting better. For those 4.5 weeks I was just on hold. But now I've got my surgery. Yes, my training is still on hold, but my rehabilitation is on the go now. I am slowly getting better. I'm in the first stage of getting better. That is getting out the sling. Then it will be getting my range of motion back. Then it will be strengthening my pec. Then it will be getting back into training, and then it will be getting stronger again, and then it will be getting back to where I was, and then exceeding where I was. See, it's just the small goals leading to the biggest things. So when people say, how am I doing? The first thing that springs to mind is shit. So in terms of my emotional health, I am doing okay. Obviously, when I first tore it, I wasn't doing great. I am doing better now, because you can't stay sad forever. You just can't. Even if you tried to, you wouldn't be able to stay sad forever. You've just got to end up taking things on the chin and moving on and getting on with it. Physically, obviously, not the best, but I'm getting there. But in terms of my work and my business, that's all going great. My clients are still happy. My clients are still making tons of progress. It's absolutely amazing to see. I'm definitely not letting anything stop my work with my clients. I still provide the best one-to-one service I can, and to be honest, I pride myself in my one-to-one service. I've definitely got one of the best out there, I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, so my work is still going great, everything is going really well. I might be moving out. That's a good thing that's happening as well. Obviously, I'm not going to move out until I can be fully independent again, because I'm still relying on my parents to help me a lot with stuff right now. So I'm going to wait till I'm out of the sling and I'm able to live properly. But yeah, big life-changing news. I might be moving out. That's really, really exciting. So everything outside my bodybuilding is still progressing amazing. I'm so happy with life in that aspect. But when it comes to bodybuilding, which is a massive like portion of my life, it's been slowed down quite a lot, and it is very shit. But I'm just really looking forward to the day when I can come back and show people where I've come from, what's possible when you stick your mind to it, and just show them how serious that Tommy is actually about bodybuilding. Like I want to get to the point where when someone mentions my name, I want them to know that I'm serious about this shit. Like, I take bodybuilding seriously, because of what I've gone through and what I've come from. It's going to be very good. I'm also thinking about getting some sort of, like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but some sort of like tattoo, not on my body, because obviously I'm not willing to throw that away, especially on stage, but just something on like my lower up forearm or something like that, just to, like, as a way to symbolize me overcoming something massive in my life, which is this is a massive setback, and it's obviously turned my life pretty much upside down. But once my life is turned back on its head, back the right way up, I'll get that done, just as a way to remind myself where I've come from, and obviously show other people that I've overcome something. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of the video. I hope this answers some questions. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I know it hasn't been the most enjoyable video in the world, but it's definitely needed for me to give you guys the extra detail of what's going on regarding my injury and my recovery. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, share this on whatever social media you want. I don't even care, even if you're sharing it on Tinder, that is absolutely great. But I look forward to hearing you guys give me feedback in the comments. Remember to follow me on Instagram, and if you want coaching, do not be afraid to hit me up. I will always have a space open for you, and if I don't, I can definitely sort something out for you, which will make everything much better, and everything will go smoothly, I promise. So yeah, but seriously, if you do want help with reaching your goals, whether it's physically or mentally, just get in contact with me now. We can definitely achieve that. I can guarantee progress within 8 to 12 weeks easily. Like, as long as you stick to the plan and do what I say, you're going to definitely see some good progress. All right, so remember, like I said before, like and subscribe, share the video on Tinder if you can, and I'll see you guys soon.